So you see, as the year winds down and as we are coming to an end, I like to look back, reflect on what went well this year and what could have gone better, because based on this, I will adjust my plans going into 2022. So today will be actually the first of two sessions, and the first is the 9 lessons that I have learned about trading, about investing, and about life, and how I will use these lessons that I've learned to actually go into 2022. Now, what I've done here is that I prepared a quick document that I thought would be fun to fill out together. And if you want, I'll be happy to give you a copy of this document. I'll link to it in the description. So let's get started with the 9 lessons that I've learned. And let's start first with 3 trading lessons that I have learned. One of the lessons that I already knew, but I violated at some point this year, is that when trading the wheel, I want to trade value stocks, not growth stocks. What does this mean? This applies mainly to trading the wheel. So I want to make sure that I am trading stocks that actually are already making a profit. Value stocks, not growth stocks. And as you know, there is this one stock in my portfolio that is hurting me really, really badly. And we'll switch over to a daily chart here. Then we'll take a look at Ride. Yes, this is my nemesis. So Ride, a trade that I entered in February. What happened is basically that I thought, oh, you know what? It's time to put a growth stock into the portfolio. You see, when you're trading value stocks, it's kind of boring. But you see, when it comes to trading, boring is good. And for those of you who have been following me a while, you know the story. I was stuck in Florida when we had the ice storm here in Texas. I was there with my kids because we were at a sailing regatta. I was stuck in the RV that I took down there to Florida. And this is when I was bored. And this is never a good idea. And of course, I know better, and it is hurting me badly. So this is another big lesson for this year, to actually write down once again, to make sure that in my 2022 plan, I have it in big, bold, fat red letters blinking on the screen to say when it comes, and this is mainly for the wheel, which is one of the 2 trading strategies that I trade. I mean, for those of you who have been following me for a while, you know that I try to trade the PowerX strategy as well as the wheel strategy. If you would like to learn more about these strategies, I'll link to some videos in the descriptions and also to these books if you want to. So now this was lesson number 1, super big lesson. Okay, so let's talk and let's switch over here about lesson number 2. And this is also something that I have known for a long time, but sometimes it helps to actually reinforce some of the good old rules that I already know. And lesson number 2 is don't force trades. I want to tell you a little bit of a story, what is behind there. Now, as you know, in the beginning of the year, I decided, I think this was actually for the first time ever. No, I've done it before, that I've shared my trading account publicly, as you know, so that you can follow along what I do. And in the beginning of the year, I thought, you know what, this might actually be a good idea of really follow this journey along. So in the beginning of the year, as you know, I put $250,000 in cash into a trading account. This is a margin account to trade $500,000 in stock buying power here, and with the goal of trading for a living to make $15,000 per month, which would be $180,000 per year. And you see, January started off super strong. January, instead of making only $15,000, already made $21,000. So in February, I just decided to turn it up a notch. And this is where in February, I actually entered this dreadful Ride trade that you might have heard about. If not, you can find plenty of information here on this channel. So this is where I forced a trade, and this is where it goes back to violating this rule that I already had here of trading only value stocks, because this is where you'll see when you're trading, sometimes the stocks that you're looking for are not appearing on the scanner. I mean, we had one of these periods in October, but you see, in October, I was already much, much better, way, way, way more disciplined here of only taking value stocks and not being lured into growth stocks or even forcing trades, because that is the number two rule here that I've learned and that you might have learned as well. So it is all about being patient and waiting for the right opportunities to come along. Let's actually switch back here to the screen so that you see I just added here, don't force trades, be patient, okay? So you know the drill here. All right, let's move on to number 3, and let's talk about the third thing that I have learned when it comes to trading. And this is, none of us is as smart as we are all together. And I'll explain in a moment what I mean by that. As you know, we do have a private community here of traders. Those are the traders that have the PowerX optimizer. Those are the traders who are following these two strategies, right? Because this is where it makes sense to exchange ideas and experiences. And you see, we have a private community here, which is called Mighty Networks, and there are some amazing trade ideas. And I want to share a few with you. And this is what I've learned this year. It is great to keep expanding your horizon, to keep looking for other trades. I mean, I would be stupid if I say, oh no, I just trade the way I have always traded. Because let me just share a few things here. One of the traders in our community is Kurt. And Kurt had this crazy idea about some kamikaze call strategies. Now, this is nothing really that I like to trade, but it is just an interesting trading idea. And as you can see, he has created a whole document around this. So some traders took this idea and said, okay, this is good, this makes sense. We also had Pavel originally coming up with a repair strategy. And this were said, you know what, there's this repair strategy. And then there were a few other mastermind members and also members in this community here who already have the software who say, you know what, this is great. Let's take this to the next level. Now, Mark and I, we have tested this repair trade strategy quite extensively. Don't like it in its original, but this is where we came up with the adjusted repair trade, the ATR. I think I talked about it in the previous Coffee with Markus. It's one of the trades that I did on LVS, where I was able to just risk $10 with the potential to make $400, $800, $1,200 while I am stuck in the trade. So anyhow, super cool, super interesting here. But there's more great ideas that I have incorporated into our trading. One of them is the wheelie strategy. This is what we call it right now. And this idea is originally from our mastermind member, Evgeny. He had a genius idea that we tested extensively. And by we, I mean Mark Hodge and I. And then right now, Mark is actually trading this strategy quite actively. And for me personally, I'm very intrigued by this, and I will incorporate it into my trading plan 2022. And again, we'll talk about this in the next video. And if you're watching the recording, by the time you might already see the next video. So if you want to take a look at this, feel free to do so. Now, one more thing that I want to mention here is Jan's indicator. We have a mastermind member, as you can see here, the TradingView lowest close indicator, which we call lovingly Jan's indicator, because he had some genius ideas here. And I mean, I have been using this indicator here for quite a while. And as you know, we have already implemented a basic version of this into PowerX Optimizer. So this is where we're going back here and looking at the 3 things that I have learned when it comes to trading is none of us is as smart as we are all together as a community. And this is what I love about our private community here. So these are the things. And in the next video, I will show you exactly how I plan to adjust my trading plan. I already made a few adjustments here, but going into 2022, how exactly I'm planning to trade. Now, I will also talk a little bit about investing, because this is where I have learned 3 lessons this year where I think this might be interesting for you, because going into 2022, you will see more of me and investing if you want to. And one of the things that I've learned is that I have to think way more ahead for investing opportunities. And what do I mean by this? Well, let me just come back to you. You see, this were, as you know, we had the pandemic hitting us, and this was mainly last year in 2020. So in the beginning of the year, I thought, oh my God, COVID, the pandemic here, must hit other landlords, right? It must hit apartment complexes. So there might be an opportunity for me to buy more apartment complexes. No, in fact, prices were going up like crazy. And in the beginning of the year, I sold one of my apartment complexes. Then I thought, what other industry could be hit here by the pandemic? And I thought, you know what? Maybe resorts, vacation resorts. So we actually started looking at vacation resorts that I wanted to invest in. But no, I mean, others had this idea. They got snacked up in days. Then also I thought maybe luxury villas, Airbnb. No, it's same here. It gets snacked up in days. And if you have been following the chart of Airbnb, it is just crazy. So what does this mean? You can't go with the stuff that is too obvious. And I think this is what I was Captain Obvious here. So I have two other investment ideas. One of them I'm pursuing very actively right now. Already shared them with the mastermind. This is an idea that I will share with you as I have invested. If I'm doing this right now, I think that some of you might actually drive off the competition for me, and I'm not planning to do this, but I'll definitely keep you posted. Now, another thing, when we're talking to think way ahead for investment opportunities, one of the things that will be on my agenda for next year is NFTs and the metaverse. And you might say, oh my gosh, Markus, you are already way too late there. I think we're still in the beginning. It's almost like cryptocurrencies. You see, with cryptocurrencies, I didn't take that seriously many, many years ago when Bitcoin was still trading at, I don't know, $10, $100, when Bitcoin was trading at $1,000, right? I mean, this is where everybody thought, who knows, at least I thought, you know what, this will never take off, and I'm getting smarter here right now. Now, I don't think that the opportunity in cryptocurrencies is gone, but I believe that when we are looking here at NFTs and the metaverse, that there will be way more opportunities. And this is where I must say it's kind of a teaching an old dog new tricks. I mean, all this new stuff, this NFTs, the metaverse and cryptocurrencies, I was resisting it for the longest time. And I can tell you this, knowing what I've learned this year, I will embrace it as we are going into the next year. And I'll be happy to share what I'm learning here on this channel if you're interested in this at all. Okay, so what else have I learned here? Let's talk about another thing regarding investing. I have learned that I need to be much smarter with parking money. And what would I mean by this? You see, especially while I was waiting for investment opportunities, I had some money earmarked. So I had a few $1,000,000 earmarked for new investment opportunities, and I parked it in my checking account, which is the worst thing to park money at, right? So, and it has been sitting there for many, many, many months, for most of the year here. And of course, this is not smart at all. So this is where what you will learn from me here on this channel, what I will do going into the next year. So I will come up with strategies where I can actually have money parked for a time frame, I want to say 3 to 6 months. This is a time frame for me while I'm waiting for an opportunity to invest, because you want to be somewhat liquid. So you don't want to have everything in a trading account here, because in a trading account, as you see, regardless of what you're trading, whether you're trading the Power X strategy or the whale strategy, you might be stuck in a stock no matter of how good you are. This is where you want to make sure that you have an account where you can quickly take money out for an investment opportunity as needed. So one of the things that I have been looking into, and already shared some strategies here with our mastermind members, is that I will look more into a dividend strategy. Now, this is not really trading here for income or for growth. This is really more for parking money for short term. But while you're parking money, you might as well try to make some, 12, 15%, something like this. So this is one of the lessons that I've learned, because I have had money sitting in my checking account for way too long. All right. Number 3 here, this is where I say I need to take investing as seriously as I take trading. And here's why. I mean, as you know, I'm a super active trader. I spend an hour easily every day looking at the markets. And you know what? If I would spend an hour per day on my new investing idea, it would already be done, right? And this is where I just need to get better with my time management and say, you know what, investing, which I have brushed aside, because for me, investing was more about generating passive income. This is why I have been invested in real estate. This is why I owned apartment complexes. And right now, especially here in Austin, where I like to invest, I mean, this is where it's all going crazy. So I do have a few other opportunities that I want to pursue. And all I need to do is take it as seriously here as trading. And this is one of the goals that I will do for myself going into 2022. And again, I talk about my trading and investment plan here in a little bit. All right, let's go about, and I'll also tell you 3 lessons that I learned in 2022 about life that are reinforcing some of the things that I already knew. And I hope that this might help you here as well. And the first thing is something that I already knew, and it just reinforcing it. Surround yourself with positive people, right? You know this. You are the sum of the 5 people you spend most of the time with. If the 5 people you spend most of the time with are overweight, there's a good chance that you might be overweight or become overweight. If the 5 people that you're surrounding yourself with and spending the most time with, if they're extremely wealthy and millionaires, there's a good chance that you're becoming a millionaire as well. And you see, this is just something that I've learned this year. Negative people are sucking the energy out of me. It is just crazy. And this is where I also want to go back to our community, right? Because I really love our community here, which is just super positive. You know that a few days ago, we did a toy drive here, Toys for Tots. And look at this. This is a picture that Debbie took. You see how many toys you donated. I mean, we donated a lot of toys. I personally bought a lot of toys. It seems that we will be able to help more than 300 kids. And I will personally deliver them to Toys for Tots and make sure that they are arriving. So thank you. And this is why I'm so thankful to have not only this community, but also you here on this YouTube channel. And you see this, one of the things that I've learned this year, negative people only have words where they try to bring you down, right? Positive people change the world through actions. Isn't that true? Because this is what I'm seeing when I'm looking at this. This is where actions, not words, actions. This is where negative people, they just talk about, oh, and you should have done this better, and you should have gotten out of right there, and you should have never gotten into right. I know that. Yes, Captain Obvious, right? I mean, just take action, and this is why I love this. Okay, let's go back and talk about the last 2 things that I have learned about trading, investing, and life in general. So here is another thing that I've learned, especially this year, and it has hit me harder than ever. And this is the kids get older, and it sucks. I mean, this is where, you see, this is the problem of all older people. And now, as I'm 52 years old, it seems that I am one of these older people who always say, I wish I had spent more time with my kids, with my family. And you see, just recently, I came across this picture, and this picture was taken only 9 years ago. This when the kids and I were going to Germany to visit my parents. There's my son Julius. There's my daughter Vivian. This was just 9 years ago, only 9 years ago. Look at this. This is my son Julius right now. So he is in college. And this was one of the things that happened in my life. As you know, in autumn a few months ago, that I actually drove him up to Boston, where he is attending college, and he's out of the house. And for me, this is one of the things that is tough for me. Then also, look at this girl here again, my daughter Vivian, right? I mean, this girl is growing up. That's her right now, only 9 years older, right? I mean, this is Vivian, and she is a junior right now in high school. And we just spent the weekend together where we were in St. Petersburg, where Vivian and her sailing team was competing in a national sailing regatta. And yes, they made first place. So proud daddy moment here. And this is definitely one of the things going into next year that not only for myself, but also for you, if you still have smaller kids, right? I mean, think about it this way. You can always make more money. You can always make more money, but you can't get back time. And this is one of the things that I will put big and fat on my computer desktop, that I see it every single day so that I'm not missing the most important things in life. All right, so finally, what other lesson do I have? And this is something that for me personally, I need to be more realistic with time, since we're talking about time and what I can accomplish. Because here's the deal. I mean, if you have been around with me, you know that I am an overachiever. I want to have everything and get everything done right now. This is where I want to share with you this Bill Gates quote that really resonates with me right now, right? And I mean, there's different quotes, but Bill Gates said, most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. You see, I personally, for me, I tend to overestimate what I can do in a day. I tend to overestimate what I can do in a week. I need to be a little bit more realistic and have goals that are more monthly goals, quarterly goals, and annual goals. I don't believe in really necessarily having a 10-year goal. For me, life goes too fast, but I need to get better in my time management and not put too much on my plate and try to get too much done in too little time. Because I don't know about you, when I try to do this, that's when I stumble. And this basically brings us back full circle here, right? Because if I'm trying to do too many things, this is when I am being impatient. And that's what I've learned here, not only in life, but this is where it relates back to trading and to investing, right? You can't realistically turn a $1,000 account into $1 million within a month, right? But I mean, over time, when you apply the principles that you might have learned here on this channel of creating SRC profits, systematic, repeatable, and consistent, right? I mean, just be realistic of what you can achieve. Anyhow, so here you have it. These are the 9 major lessons that I learned in 2021. Broken down into trading, broken down into investing, and into life. And you will see exactly how I will incorporate these life lessons into not only my trading plan, but also overall my investment plan and my life plan for 2022. And this is what we are going to do in the next video. So just make sure that you subscribe to this channel. And if right now the next video is ready, I'll have it pop up here somewhere so that you can watch it and see exactly of how I'm putting these life lessons into action.